Hey, what's going on, everyone? I haven't looked at equities for a while, so I'm going to do a little review. Hopefully, we can find a bottom here real shortly. It feels like it is stretched beyond its means, breaking silver and gold breaking long-term charts and then retracing back into support on the monthly charts mostly. It's the most exciting thing I've seen in a long time. Hopefully, this is the bullish breakout, bullish retracement consolidation over the 34 that we've been waiting for to change the long-term outlook for gold and silver. So what do we have here? I got a daily chart, I got a weekly chart, and I got a monthly chart. I got this watch list set up on volume. That way we don't mix in the crap that I got going on down here. So we'll just top it off with GDX. Trying to find a bottom. You can see on the daily, looks like an island bottom. Look for previous low breaks. Also, the gap covering. All in all, you can see the breakout. Oh, on this chart, it's the EMA or the T3 number 3, not the 8 or the 13. Green is 3, red is 8. So I'm looking for a churn on a weekly chart. I'm looking for a churn of that EMA 3 over the 8 to signify an intermediate change in trend. Let me see, I forgot to change this, I think. Yeah, this is the 13. Let's change this to the 3. Look for a bottom. And even on the daily, it's not crossing over the EMA 8 yet. Nugget, another high volume miner. Same thing, I don't see anything. I'm looking for some kind of a V bottom. Looks like we got an island bottom here. We got that reversal hammer working on a daily. Plus some higher volume. Could be the extension that we're waiting for. You can see on a monthly, it tapped on its high, the 34, came all the way back down, crossing over the EMA 8. JNUG, Junior Nugget. Same thing, no reversal bars here. You can see even on this one it broke previous lows on a daily. So very weak on that one. See how we open. Looking at a double top here. See the crossover, bearish retracement, came back in, another bearish retracement, broke below previous lows. Over on the daily though, we got some kind of Another 2-bar pattern. Just trying to break back into, looks like it closed the gap pretty close, and then closed down below. So it looks bearish as a continuation. Even the OBV fell over. OBV on a 20 EMA. You see on a monthly though, you can see the breakout. You can see the come back into support bullish retracement. It's right there. We need to take out the double top, but hopefully this might be some kind of a bullish piercing pattern on the next week. You can see on the weekly candle the break up and then the close in. And the continuation past. So this reminds me of a inverted hammer. Same looking thing, but we'll see how we open. So look out for previous low breaks, as this can be stretched past into previous highs very easily. Looks like a pretty weak week for GSS. The gap down, a continuation. For the monthly, at least, it broke above the 34 and it's been hanging 10 for a long time. Right on the edge of the 8. Pretty high volume on this bearish candle. So look out below on this one, as it can come all the way back down into support. AVX, Barrett Gold, same thing. You can see the bullish retracement back again, waiting for this to settle out, looking for some kind of reversal. GPL, I think I put an alert on this to watch, as the bullish retracement has been completed and it's trying to move higher. So that's what we're looking for. Got a nice monthly hammer here. Right off of support. This could continuate down into support. So watch out below, as it can come still down into support, but it's not too far off from its major support line. You can see that U come in on a monthly chart. I would say previous high break at 158 be a nice spot. Otherwise, buy into support. Weekly needs to get above the 34, above the 157 previous high breaks. But nice bottom. We got a double bottom working. Hecla Mining. Looks like last week it made a dive for support, just like everything else. Hecla, on the other hand, is doing a very high level consolidation on the monthly chart. Still holding support on the EMA 8 or my T3s. Look for previous low breaks. Still holding support, but it can come all the way back in to the 34. It's held its own above 34 on a weekly chart, aside from last week. GDXJ, pretty weak. but all the way back into support on a monthly chart. Pretty nice looking. We're looking for some kind of a bottom. IAG's working from a double bottom. Look for previous low breaks. All the way back down into support. Holding a double bottom. That looks like a bottom. Let's see if we can hold the double bottom and move upward, get a nice U on the monthly chart. Imana. Pretty weak indeed. But you can see the daily hammer. See if it'll hold. Monthly is one of those ones that came into the 34 and got rejected all the way back down into the previous high breaks. Previous pattern break. So nice bullish retracement after the bottom, all the way to its opposing point, its natural course up into the 34 area, back down into support, previous high. Closing that hammer right there. Newmont Mining, same as the last one. Nice double bottom, but beware of the bearish flag, as this might continue for the previous low breaks. Looks like the measured move is not in after the breakdown. Breakdown, we take the high here and the low here and take a measured move. And you can see on the monthly, it has a little bit of ways to go into support. Cliff looks interesting on a monthly chart. You can see the breakout, now the comeback into support. You can see on the monthly chart the cross above the 34, previous high break, coming back into support. Might be a good buy to come in here real soon. Can't be for certain that this is the bottom. It's got plenty of room to come back down into support after the break up here. Look for maybe about 850 previous highs. Previous lows, previous highs. It's more like 8. So look for Cliff, previous low breaks, coming into support. Might be a nice grab, as Cliff's on a monthly chart, long-term chart, has broken over the 34 and bullish retracing as we speak. Nice. GG. Still looking for a bottom after the double top. Measured move. Pretty much in. Looking for a bottom. Measured move across the 34 is what I mean. Not an exact science, but give you a gauge of its highs, its median point, and its low. GG on a monthly chart came into resistance on the 34 SMA. Now we are making a year-over-year higher low, but we'll see how we end the year. Looks like January, nice hammer, 3-bar pattern, crossed, made a double top. It's like April to June, July, double topped it. Now we're all the way back into the next year. Bullish retracing. Hopefully this is our bottom. HMY. Buying into support, selling into resistance. HMY is pulled back beyond belief. But let's see. We use the high and low. Do a little Fibonacci. Let's see here. There we go. Let's color these blue. See a bullish retracement. Let's see, I'm gonna go mark them. Show line values. No. Show. I guess, yeah, show. And show. And extend right. There we go. So from the high, or from the low to the high, it's retracement fell past 61.8%, so it's stretched beyond belief. Looking for some kind of a turnaround. We'll have to find it here real soon, or this whole bullish nonsense could be just reversed to the downside. Here's a little marijuana for you. Pretty nice weekly bounce. And it's following that 8. Look for a previous high break. That's where I got my alarm set. But it looks like on a daily it did hit that and got rejected so far. Looks like we got support on the way up, so buy into support. You can see what I've been. Gold and silver should be a lot more volatile. I remember things blowing up almost every day. But now it just seems like there's no people traders. It's all computerized trading. No human mistakes, no emotions. Just thing is, on marijuana compared to gold and silver, which is a volatile market, marijuana on the flip side busted over the 34 and retraced within, a month. Where, on, let's just call it GDX, we've been retracing. Oops. How'd that happen? There we go. GDX on a monthly chart, we've been retracing for 6 months. So marijuana, medical marijuana Inc. Look for some kind of a churn, high level consolidation above support here, breaking previous high breaks. This could take another run, but watch for any kind of The thing is, this is looking pretty bullish across here. If it can get back up to previous highs, I mean, the cross above the 34 and the bullish retracement on this is real quick compared to the long, drawn out, let's shake all the bullish people out kind of situation here. Where marijuana, real quick like, hit a high, came back all the way back in, building, 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 make that U like the Bitcoin U, that high level U, right over the 34. So look for previous high breaks, as climbing the flagpole is not going to be a problem for marijuana at all. It does not seem like there's any intention of churning so far. It looks to be going higher. MUX. Looks like the bearish retracement is in. Look for previous low breaks. Grab something on the low. Previous low breaks, you can see the flag pattern. The breakdown. Bearish retracement. Now the continuation. Catch something on the low. Maybe a double bottom for this. And you can see on the monthly, it can come into support quite a bit more. So look for that. I don't think that the bearishness on this one is over. EGO, same thing. Look for previous low breaks. Also look for any kind of rejection on the downside to the upside. EGO is one of those that came into resistance and came back down into previous breaks. BTG, see the difference. This one came across at 34, bullish retrace back into support. Looks like a bullish harami on the daily, so that's nice. But on the weekly, it looks like these support levels were broken last week, came all the way down and came into previous. So it looks like a bearish retracement, breakdown, bearish retracement, and the continuation. But looks pretty promising on the monthly, on the daily. And it looks like it did retrace back above, or it matched previous lows. So look for previous low breaks on the downside. Maybe pick something up on an extension bar coming down into 2. Support level. GFI. Broke this thing down pretty hard. Year over year, we are closing a higher low. So far. 2-bar pattern. Looking for some kind of... Is that the exhaustion that we're looking for? And then the pop? Some kind of a bullish encompassing pattern. Filling the gap and continuing. Maybe matching highs somehow. Breaking in the previous lows is important. Goldfields did break above the 34, came all the way back down stretched beyond belief. And you can see that here. High, median, and then the low. Is that a pretty much a measured move on the retracement? CDE, can't be for certain that this is the bottom, as the bearish retracement is in. Look for previous low breaks. As on the monthly, it's got plenty of room to come back down into support. See the kind of same situation over and over again. These are pretty much controlled. You can see the stair stepping going on in the bullish retracements. You know, the consolidation breakdown, consolidation breakdown, consolidation breakdown. Stair stepping all the way into the 34 after the cross. Someone knows more than I do, but just looks like to me we've got a bullish scenario going on, very explosive to the upside as the monthly momentum has changed on a lot of these. What a great situation where on a long-term chart you can see the breakout and the bullish retracement back into support, which makes your best buy. Can't be for sure that this is over, as the measured move on the downside between here and here is not concluded, but support is very close nearby. 13 to, let's call it 8. So it's got a long ways to go if it doesn't reverse. It's got to consolidate first. Hopefully for a different consolidation pattern here, as a bounce needs to happen above the 34. Close above the 34 is key on a monthly close. See what happens. I don't think its downside momentum is over yet, but it's got that same daily pattern. They're all doing it. Some kind of a gap down, some kind of a consolidation. Some of them retraced a little bit. Hardly any of them were continuation patterns yet. OBV turned over pretty badly, but it looks like just the last, on this gap, it looks like a last ditch effort to get things all the way back down from the previous breaks. I mean, it could come down all the way back in. So, buy into support. Same with this one. Looks like a previous low break is coming in. The monthly on this is just terrible anyway, so this one needs a lot of work. It's not even picking up. Oh, never mind. Yeah, look for previous low breaks on this. Otherwise, it's putting in a double bottom. But it looks pretty nasty. It doesn't have any kind of long-term support. So look out below on this one. Not sure where that one is going. Looks like straight down. Let's get rid of that. I don't want to see that kind of stuff. SLV. Remember, these are just my opinions, so SLV is one of those COMEXs I would try to stay away from the comics, as it's way over leveraged. If anything really bad happens in the paper markets, I don't see this one standing up at all. It looks like on a monthly it broke, came back into support, monthly breaks. It's got some room to come back down in. Let's see where we close the month out. Same kind of situation on the daily. Some kind of a gap down. Look for some kind of recovery. Maybe it'll hold. Turning this candle for the monthly close. Something to look at. Looking for that measured move to come in as well. Across the balance point right here. Take the high, take the low, and then do a measured move on the downside. Looking for 60% support, 61.8. Yep, there's another marijuana. Good volume coming in, I guess. That weekly chart, I mean, look how that is some kind of a controlled, it's a nice U coming in. It's like a controlled selling into buying into support kind of situation. The daily looks to be bending over to the downside. Monthly is not a lot of action, as it broke the previous downside action. Broke the trend line there. You can see that bend right there. It's kind of bending over. I like that pattern on the weekly, so let's see if we can get a pop out of this. Get above lines here. Let's see. Let's clear this out. Anything above previous high breaks. I don't know, it just looks a little controlled selling or buying in here. Huge accumulation going right in here. It's too perfect. SLW. Silver Wheaton. Looking for that measured move. Look for previous low breaks. This looks pretty weak. And a flat top, flat bottom break down. Monthly then stretched. Crossed over the 34, came back all the way back in. So far putting it in a double bottom. So hopefully that will hold. But it looks pretty weak, as it's got plenty of room to go down. AG looks weak. Previous low break on the close. Weak, weak, weak. Had a run up to 10, that was nice. Closed all the way back in. AG's monthly still holding though. Now let's see if we can get this back above previous lows for this week. That would help it a lot. Otherwise, look for continuation as the breakdown occurred and bearish retraced. Now the continuation. Deutsche Bank. Looks like Deutsche Bank put in a double top on the weekly chart. But on the monthly chart, you can see that U and a little pop. Right? Saved by the bell. Nice stair step across the 34. That was a perfect buy for anyone watching that. Pretty nice move. Put in the double top and looking for this thing to come back into support somewhere. Daily's got a double top working right there. NGD looking for a reversal. Looks like the measured move is almost in. For some kind of a buy into support area. DRD fully extended, double top. Hopefully this doesn't make a measured move down, because that would be horrible. $3 from 6. Looks like it almost made it $3.50, so pretty good volume for Friday, or for the week. So is that a signal for the bottom? Got higher lows. Got a price pinch between the 3 and the 8. Looking for a cross. That 3 across the 8. Looking for a price. Previous high breaks. Perfect move across the 34, double topped. And now we've got a bullish retracement all the way back down into support, a higher low. DRD was looking good. Look for previous low breaks, as it hasn't put it in the measured move on the cross here. But nice volume breakout last week. Especially on Friday. Someone wants a bottom. Nice cross above the 34, coming back into support. And now that looks like a bottom is coming in as volume is accompanied. Nice. DRD looks good. Top of the list. AU looks like the measured move across the 34 is in on the weekly chart. Stretch beyond belief across the monthly chart. AU's looking good for some kind of reversal coming in. So keep a watch on AU. It's stretched pretty drastically. All the way back down at previous highs, right? Gonna bounce above previous highs. Get this thing moving across the 34 one more time. Daily. Wish that was a better reversal. Looks like an island bottom on daily charts. These are all looking like island bottoms. So let's see what happens. Uranium. This is a uranium stock. Uranium's pretty precious, so very, very rare. And supposedly this is a pretty well managed uranium mine. And you can see on the weekly the hammer right across that 34. See the bullishness, previous high break on daily. You can see the monthly hasn't broke to the upside yet. Once it breaks, it should want to touch its natural course of return to 34. So look for a nice run on this one, as it just broke above previous downtrend lines. Broke above previous highs. And OBV is climbing. It's well below zero, but this thing's been dragged through the mud since 46. Made a top at 26. Previous low breaks at 15. So look for some kind of return back to its natural point of return back to previous lows. And once it gets there, we'll see what happens. But you can see the volume coming in. Looks pretty healthy for a bottom. Little breakout. I'm not sure about this one. It's not going to show very well. This gold miner's 3 times there, and had a pop, right? It's just the inverse of a bullish chart, but had a nice previous high break. NG, damn, previous low breaks coming in. Good bullish run after the previous high break. It's come all the way back into support on a monthly chart. So let's see what happens. Another island bottom. See how that performs. Looks bearish, but you never know. I think it could have the ability to churn here. It's not too far off, is it? I don't think so. Looks like the measured move is in. So maybe this is the bottom for NG. It's come all the way back into support on the monthly. It just has to make a higher high, I guess. Prove itself. Could be a triple bottom. Previous low break. Look for some kind of a churn. The bullish retracement's in on a lot of these. It's just been pulled beyond belief. Let's see what kind of island bottom this is. See what happens. Looks like an island bottom. See if we can pop these things on the upside. Island bottom, left and right, left and right. Same, same, same. Coming back into support. Same, same, same. All of it. All of it. Come on. Another bottom there. Good for a churn. FSM, thought this was going to perform a lot better after the breakout, but it looks like it wants to come all the way back into support. Looks like it busted below previous highs, previous lows, and then came back up into support. This island bottom looks a lot better. But look for downside action as it closed, filling the gap. So have to keep an eye on that. It's got plenty of room to come back down into support on the monthly chart. And watch the measured move across the 34 on a weekly chart. Bearish retracements in on this one. You can see the breakdown, bearish retracement, and then the continuation now, breaking previous lows. Has that island bottom look though? Monthly all the way back into support. Let's see what kind of island reversal we can get on this. It'll be pretty impressive as the bearish retracement just was put in. Nice monthly inverted hammer coming in. Not perfect. Has that same trading action though. Island bottom again on the daily. Holding its own. Can't be for sure about anything on this one. A gap fill would mean a bearish retracement on the weekly, so has plenty of room to come back down into support for continuation on any kind of bearish retracement. So you go. This one got pulled down beyond belief. Nice 3 wicks high. Pretty obvious. Monthly was a candle reversal. 2-bar candle reversal. It's just pulled beyond belief. Let's see where it stops. It's an energy stock. Look at the monthly chart on this. Comes down. Look for a previous high break. As it tapped it already and rejected, buying into support. Watch this thing come across the 34 on a monthly chart. Pretty bullish on this one. Another one pulled all the way back. If the rubber band was stretched all the way high, the rubber band should stretch the same distance on the way down. Same rubber band. But stretched beyond belief on the downside. Looking for some kind of reversal, almost a perfect hammer. Need a longer wick, but same kind of trading action. UEC. I really like this chart. So that's why I'm in it. Price is in a huge pinch on a long-term chart. Has to decide up or down. And when it decides up, it's going to have to break that downside pattern. Price is in a pinch. Looking for a break above the 34 on a monthly chart. Looking for some kind of explosive move across the 34 on a monthly chart. Not sure about this one. Looks like a newly formed stock, but looks like a bullish retracement has been put up on a daily chart. Can't say much about anything else except for the higher lows coming across the 34 on a weekly chart. So it could get a pop. Looks like a solar stock. So looks like a daily on this one is the only good-looking part about this bottom. As it through time it came across and then inverted hammer right over the top, but then inverted hammer was canceled out as the next day's candle closed below. So looking for a churn on any time. Looking for a churn anytime that let's see. Nice inverted hammer right over the 30 or the 8 and the 13 or 8 and 3 on the weekly chart. Looking for a cross on that. Looks like a bottom could be in on this one. Silver Dragon Resources. But the only positive thing is that daily cross of the 34. So hopefully it holds. And then that's a nice inverted hammer. Nice hammer. Look at all the topsy-turvy kind of action right here. Hammer. And then a pop. And then a close back in. Look for forward action on this down. Previous high breaks be are there. It's a pretty low trading stock though. Careful on those. Another island bottom. Not sure what's going to happen here. When's the bleeding going to stop? USLV hit that 34 on a monthly and came across. So bullish retraced ever since 1, 2, 3, 6 months. It's a measured move in. Look at that 34 right over the 50% roll right there. So it's not exact, but the high to the cross. Take a measured move. I've been trying to debate whether it's the previous low or just quite literally halfway point. On this one, that's a halfway point, not the previous low. So a lot of these, the measured move has come in. That's what I'm saying. TGD, look at the weekly hammer. Beautiful, nice weekly hammer. Knocked out a bottom. You can see the hammer form on the week. That's what it looks like on the day. Let's see if this can continue knocking out that bottom. Monthly chart crossed above the EMA 8. Came back into the EMA 8. Making a year over end high. Higher low. So follow the trend. Buy into support. See if this is the end. First Mining Finance. This is First Majestic's sister company or something like that. You can see the consolidation right here. Looks nice, very nice. Nice bullish move on the daily to close the last week out. Looks good for a nice run here shortly. Let's see, let's clear all this crap. You see the cross 3/8, and the 8 is churning. Prices, look for previous high break across the previous double top here. That's what I would do. Take a ride on this one. Bullish retraced all the way back into the 34 and bounced last month, and now we have a continuation on the upside. This one looks to be explosive. I had this upwards into $1. I remember I sold it into the dollar area. So came all the way back down into the 34 after the break. And now it's got a nice little bottom working here. Something to consider. I'm not sure about this one, as it's got a rolling top. Not sure about that one at all. URRE. Was hoping this was going to be in a price pinch. Looks like it broke outside of my little box on the downside. Looking for some kind of a 2-bar reversal. Get it back up where it needs to be. We got 3 wicks pointing up across the 34, so maybe this is, we'll see how the month closes out. But closing on last week's lows does not look good for URRE. Plus we got tri-tips for a top here. Oh, this looks like First Mining Finance we just looked at. Looks like that one, almost on the weekly chart. But also could be the bearish retracement. For the long-term chart, we'll have to mix this in a little bit. Looks like it could come down quite a bit after the breakout. Yeah, it looks bearish from here, right? Unless it breaks previous high breaks. Or just trade outside the channel, I guess. That's all you really have to do. But hopefully on the upside, BGZ, it could be a nice consolidation. Let's see. Looks like we got a cross. A 3/8 on a weekly chart, but and it's holding support on the EMA 8. There's plenty of room to come down into support, but see what happens. They're in a higher low. on the daily chart. Plus it didn't come down into yet. I don't know. Is this the breakdown and bearish retracement so the continuation can happen? Or are we going to see a previous high break this next week as we got a pop over the 8, pop over the 8, retrace back into support. But I don't know, that cross above the 8 is confusing me with the fact that it did break down across the 34. I can go either way, I guess. It's got anything outside the pattern. I'm bullish on the short term as it broke across the 8, came back into support. Look at the previous high breaks. Or I look for previous low breaks. It's right in the middle, I guess. Lithium. I can't tell what's going on here. It's newly traded. I can't tell what's going on. Sprott looks like a continuation on the downside on the weekly chart. Power shares looks like a top. Base metals fund looks like I finally put a top in. It's been lagging, I guess. I don't know what's going on with that. Load looks like a base is forming on the bottom. It might be a bearish flag, so watch out. But the cross above the 34 on the daily is right there. Previous looks like it could be a bottom. Look for breaks in the previous lows. DNN looks like it has had a fun time since the bottom. You can see that nice double bottom on the monthly chart. There you go. It's natural point of return. I think I bought this in and around over here. Busted out to 66. I remember sold it. It's been a long time. Looks like it's back across the 34 on a weekly chart. Pretty bullish. Look for retracements back into support. Previous high breaks. Could take a ride on this. Pretty nice. SVBL. Little pink sheet right here, I believe. Another scenario right across the 34. What's it going to do? Price is in a pinch. You see the pinch here too. The break into the 34, back down into the 8 on a monthly. This thing I've had this a few times. It moves pretty nicely, and once it gets going, it moves pretty nicely. So I'm gonna wait for a cross above the 34 on this, but I don't know. Previous low breaks, watch for it. Cross below the 34 on a weekly chart, bearish retraced, continuation fashion. Look for previous low breaks or previous high breaks. It's one of those conundrums right now. I believe this is uranium as well. Nice daily action over the 34. I think for me, I'm going to hold out until it gets above this breakout point. That's just me. It looks like it's coming into resistance for right now. Monthly chart. Give me the A, B bottom on a monthly chart. Just have to see how that wants to move forward. It's more likely for me to catch it over here though. Any kind of pop. AGQ, same kind of scenario. Moving into the lower volume stuff. This one's been pulverized. Not much going on down here. PZG, another conundrum across the 34. Prices in that pinch. Look at the inverted hammer on the daily close. Crossed the 34 on the daily, came back into support, closed the last day of the week with an inverted hammer. That's pretty nice. Look for previous low breaks though, as it can come down into the 34. Higher lows. Another inverted hammer over 2 weeks in a row. Kind of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then it popped. Prices in that pinch. It popped again. Interesting. PZG, look for previous high breaks. It's got to decide it's in a pinch. TRX been dragged through the mud. HTM and geothermal. Geothermal. See if this is the bottom or not. Higher lows coming across, building, building, building. Daily crossed. Closed the week pretty good. Or closed the last day of the week on the daily chart pretty nicely. MDM. Nice hammer. Weekly and daily. Oh no, there it is. Just a daily hammer. Nice. See what happens with that. It's got plenty of room to come back down and support on long-term charts. It's cannabis. MLRKF. don't know. Cannabis. Cannabis, you can see the cross over the 34 came all the way back down in support. Waiting for a churn. It's pretty explosive. Look for previous high breaks on that daily chart. Nice U. Consolidation. Get that pop. Just a bottom play though. Same. Bullish retracements on the monthly. Pretty much it, I guess. All these are pretty low volume. You're not going to have anything spectacular going on. So I guess that's it. Unless there's something down here I'm missing. Let's look at CL. Looks like that did not like the double top it put in at 50. Coming back into support on the weekly. Might be a nice pickup. I was rooting for this one. Still am. It's just got to gather its legs, I guess. But the monthly chart looks like to be bearish encompassing. So keep an eye out on that. Broke below previous highs. It's got to reverse back up. Above previous highs to catch its momentum back. I guess that's it, guys. I hope it was worth it. I'm still bullish on gold and silver, that's for sure. Waiting for that churn. It could be any time. After the bullish retracement on a monthly chart, once it finds support, it should turn around. So let's see where gold and silver is at before I leave. I think market's open. Just guess real quick, I guess. Here's a dollar. Looks like we opened down. Just real quick, gold for Sunday night is open slightly up. Let's see this on a daily. Be easier. There we go. Put in a V bottom. See if we can continue back into resistance. Once we get resistance, maybe an opposing point, and then we can move forward. Looks like we opened up on silver as well, just slightly though. Let's take a look at the daily again on dollar. Looks like support's coming in. And copper, let's see what copper's doing. Looks like copper opened down. See if we can get copper moving as well. Alright guys, that's it. So far so good. We're opening up. The dollar's opening down. So far so good. I'll see ya.